Hiya, first video of the season following Manchester United's first friendly, yet again against Leeds United in Scandinavia. Yet again, it was a pretty poor first friendly this season. Wasn't quite as bad as against Rosenborg last year in Trondheim. You know, I was thinking about that game yesterday and the people I spoke to that day, Erik ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Will Fish, and they've just all gone. So many changes at Manchester United. So this time to Leeds United in Stockholm, where Manchester United won the Europa League in 2017. And United have played there a couple of other times. I remember 2013 being there for a game. I can't even remember who it was against. That's how memorable it was. I remember speaking to Danny Welbeck. It's mad how the memory works. And it was 0-0 on Saturday in Stockholm. So a couple of observations. I'm not going to run through every player, but I will pick out a couple who I thought did well. Firstly, the crowd, 45,000, a near sellout, and maybe 85% Manchester United. Leeds are big in Scandinavia because they were successful in the 80s and briefly in the 90s. But Manchester United support there. I mean, Norway is the epicenter of United support in Scandinavia, but to sell a crowd out that big, a stadium that big in Sweden, I just feel bad that they didn't see any goals, and it wasn't a great game either. But again, it was the first one. The players have basically been in training for 10 days. There wasn't really a good rhythm from Manchester United. Leeds were a better team for the first 20 minutes. United got stronger then, just before half-time. Ruben Amorim correctly said there was a lack of pace in the midfield and there were big gaps between the sectors, as he called it. So when I'm watching it, I'm thinking, I've seen this so many times last season and I'm not convinced by it. But I did like Cunha, aggressive between the lines. That was something that Amorim pointed out. And there was a moment where Chido took a shot when Cunha was in a better position than him. And these moments can be key in matches. You know, that would have gone in, that would have been 1-0 to Manchester United. And the aspect on this video will be slightly different. So Ruben Amorim said we've still got a lot to do. I think that is absolutely clear, but that's what pre-seasons are for. Cunha's in, expecting Brian Mbeumo to come before the American tour, and more activity as well with Marcus Rashford. I put on the United Restand board on Thursday that the links with Barcelona were absolutely true. I checked it out with sources in Catalonia. I did Catalan radio on Saturday night to talk about that, about how he might fit in, about how long Barcelona have wanted him for. So Rashford to Barcelona, I'll talk about that in a different place. So Manchester United against Leeds, Bayern there. The number 2, are we convinced by him? Not hugely. Luke Shaw, left of a free, nice pass to Cunha on 32. De Ligt was centre of a free. This was all in the first half. It was a good test for him against a Leeds team playing a similar formation to Manchester United. Mazraoui right of the free, and he steered a 3rd minute Leeds attack away from goal. Diego León, a wing back on the right, Ahmad wing back on the left, Collier midfield, Casemiro. Casemiro looks slimmer and fitter. He had a shot deflected onto the crossbar just before half-time. Cunha was probably the standout. Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad had a bit of a tough time against Sam Byron, but he showed some nice touches. Chido headed wide after 11 minutes. He shot from a tight angle after 32. That's because there wasn't really anyone to cross to. So it wasn't a fluid Manchester United performance. They never are when you're playing first time for your first pre-season. And he obviously took that shot with his weaker foot when Cunha was in a better position just before half-time. 11 changes at half-time. Tom Heaton came on, did well to keep Ramazani out. Yoro, was a couple of pinpoint passes. Harry Maguire played 28 minutes, which was always the plan. Heaven was pretty strong against the fleet-heeled Dan James, although he played Ramazani onside at one point. Delo, Dorgu did some good balls. Then you had Mount and Ugarte in the middle with Mantato and Mainu. I thought Mainu looked good, especially towards the end. There was a scramble where Manchester United came really close to scoring, and Mainu had done well as part of that. Højlund needs to be stronger with his back to goal. And the subs who came on for the subs, Fredrickson came on for Maguire after 74, and Jack Fletcher came on for the final 10 minutes for Man Utd. So from here, United, well, they flew back to Manchester on Saturday night, and then 2 days of training, and then fly to the United States, to Chicago, spend the rest of the week in Chicago, then fly to New York for the game on Saturday in the MetLife Stadium against West Ham. So I will be going to America. I'll be doing the full tour, speaking to lots of people over there. I'll be doing events as well with Wes Brown. Friday night in New York in Longacre, a Saturday in New Jersey, Hoboken, and then in Chicago and in Atlanta as well. So that'll be working with the local United supporters clubs there. So I look forward to seeing people over there. I will bring some copies of the Summer United We Stand as well. We've done really well with that. Appreciate everyone buying it. Got that massive interview with Omar Barada, which makes interesting reading sort of month and a half after doing it, with what has happened since. He was very optimistic, but I know that the mood is, especially online, when new players are not signed as quick as fans would hope, the mood slumps pretty quickly. But if we get the big B in from Brentford, and that's 2 new players, is that going to be enough? Probably not, but it was never going to be all done in this one transfer window. But I think there could be more movement as well. I know United are trying to move players on and to bring players in too. I've put good bits of information on the United We Stand forum. For example, on Friday, the club lost out on a young player from Fulham who they thought had signed, thought was going to sign. United are going very aggressively for younger players. So America it is, and then it's back for Arsenal. We'll be doing United We Stand as well. And that'll be out for the Arsenal game. Big season in it, this one. What's success going to look like for Manchester United? Where do Manchester United going to likely finish? Looking at it now, I'm sort of thinking 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Can't believe I'm saying that, because it's not going to be good enough. If you finish 9th, then it's not going to feel good enough. But it will be a substantial improvement on finishing 15th. Last season was a complete write-off from a point of view of where it ended, but hopefully a lot has been learned by the manager, getting used to the new league, to the media, to Carrington, to his players, by the players as well, getting used to the new system, by the players who came in last season. Now it's the second season. We would hope for more from Ugarte, from Josh Zirkzee, from Dorgu. Still a lot of very young players in this Manchester United team. And then we've got the new signings as well, which I think have been welcomed by United fans as well. So there's issues, the goalkeeping area is one which concerns me. Who's going to play in the middle? Where's Bruno going to play? Are there too many number 10s? And it'll be interesting to see him on tour, how United do. I think it's good that United are playing Premier League matches, because going straight into it with really tough games against Arsenal and Fulham and Burnley and City and Chelsea is a really tough start to the season for Manchester United. So to be playing Everton, West Ham and Bournemouth, teams who all beat Manchester United last season. I mean, some absolute stinkers. Goodison away was horrific. Bournemouth at Old Trafford, obviously, that was bad. And West Ham was a game away which saw Eric Ten Hag lose his job, and West Ham won at Old Trafford as well for like the first time since the club were formed. Promise you, I'm not going to go back to last season anymore. I will be doing some videos from the United States, and I'm looking forward to seeing people out there. Come and say hello. Bye bye.